If you've ever accused a gun tuber of being a shill in the comment section, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average Safariland Shill video enjoyer that your mom says that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Guys, the purpose of today's video is we're going to be discussing my relationship moving forward with Safariland and my relationship in the past. This is going to be kind of a mandatory viewing video for my audience, as transparency has always been utmost on my, list of priorities. Transparency is number one between me and my audience. Now, as you guys know, I have had no sponsors on the channel due to my relationship with you, wanting it to be 100% honest, transparent, truthful at all times, and that is not going to change today. But I want to discuss my history with Safariland and my plan moving forward for you guys, so you understand what is happening here on the channel. And this is directly based on a discussion I had with the Safariland team and a discussion I had with you guys on a poll that is on the post, and a discussion with some of my mentors that I had in the gun tube space that are more honest and transparent. You probably know the names that I'm referring to. If you can take a wild guess of whose advice and mentorship you think I went to that may or may not be a colleague of mine, comment who you think that is down below. Now, I'm going to ask for your input on a couple things today. First thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is get down below and let me know what gun tuber you have accused of shilling a bad product. I look forward to reading those rather comedic comments down below. And I would also like your input on this deal. Now, I have made the decision, as of the time of filming this video, to take a Safariland sponsorship, but I'm going to outline the exact parameters of that and everything for that. So go down below, let me know what gun tuber you've laughed at because they have no integrity and no transparency, and they obviously took a bad deal like an Olight sponsorship and it was hilarious. Post all that down below. I'm sure there'll be Sig Sauer, Goobers Groups comments, and I also want to know your guys' input on the deal between myself and Safariland. Now, what I want to discuss right now is my history with Safariland. So I have a ton of holsters that have all been purchased by me for duty use and the Trench Grenade channel. Out here, we're going to be going over them one by one. We're having some fun. We're on profile all day and all to the night. Oh, whoa. Okay, so I'm going to discuss my history with Safariland as a duty holster. The only holster I've ever been issued while being in the Army as an infantryman, now a senior non-commissioned officer, airborne, drill sergeant, you name it, mechanized infantry. I've been there, I've done it, okay? I've done a lot of things in uniform and outside of uniform, but in uniform, I have only ever been issued 2 guns. That's not true. 3 guns with Safariland holsters. A M9, this is an M9A4, but an M9, a M17, and a Glock 17 Gen 2. I have been issued a Safariland holster for all 3 of those guns, and I've never had an issue with any Safariland product over 13 years of service, and none of my soldiers ever have either. So that is hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers, holsters that I've seen and personally worn. This is a Beretta M9A4 and a Safariland retention holster, okay? I carried this exact holster. Now it's been painted for the memes and for the vibes, but I've carried this exact holster with my duty M9 when I was in the 173rd. This is my current holster, my current duty holster for this M17, okay? Not this exact M17 as I purchased this one, but obviously I use this holster for work on my belt that I'm going to show you here in a second, okay? So it's important to tell you about the duty aspect of this, because these 2 holsters I have fired easily over 100,000 rounds of M9, okay, Beretta M9 and M17 and M18 ammunition through these holsters, right, while using these holsters, and I've never had a single issue with any Safariland product ever. I like that they have the retention system, and that is why we use them for work, okay? So 13 years, never had an issue with a Safariland product ever, okay? So that is my history on duty with them. Again, the guns I've carried on duty are the M9, the original 92 FS M9 Berettas, okay, with this exact holster. Now it's been painted over with the M17 and M18 for both duty and competition use, okay. This is my personal M17, but boom, here's the holster that I've used for that, and with a Glock 17 Gen 2 that I used during a lot of CQB training that I did in the 173rd, okay? So I've used a lot of products from Safariland on duty, and I've never had a single issue. I have to tell you that because in order for me to get behind a company, I have to know that the gear is going to work and that you guys are going to be successful with said gear. Now, I also want to talk about the YouTube channel, okay, and competition shooting. So for competition and the YouTube channel, I have used this holster. This is a Staccato C2 with a Holosun 507 comp and a Surefire X300, okay? So I've used this gun for both duty, I guess off work Minuteman activities type of duty and competition shooting in another Safariland holster, okay? Why is that important? Well, I feel that you should always have retention on your handgun at all times, because if you don't have a retention system, then it's not my gun, it's our gun. Does that make sense? So I've always advertised before Safariland even came into the picture that you need to have a very good active retention system, not a passive retention system. So I've used this holster, okay? This is just another retention holster that offers you to carry a red dot, okay, in the holster. I've used this on the channel before the sponsorship as well. Never had an issue. You guys have seen the 10,000 round test with the Staccato C2 in this holster, okay? Go back and look. This thing has been with us for a long time, and we've been testing with this holster for a long time, okay? So that's now 4 holsters that we've discussed. I want to get into the last one, and then we'll get into the parameters of the deal. Okay, Glock holsters, okay? Now this is my, I guess I would call it my Minuteman belt, right? For the end of the world. If the end of the world kicks off tomorrow, I've gone over this belt setup a ton on the channel, and what you are gonna note right away is, boom, there's a Safariland holster with a leg strap from a company we will not name. I'll get with Safariland and see if we can get some mid-length or leg straps for you guys, okay? But boom, there is my actual duty holster. It is a Glock holster. Again, active retention with the hood, as I feel you must have an active retention system if you're gonna have anything for real use, such as duty use, Minuteman use, you name it. Okay, now that we've gone over 13 years worth of duty, okay, duty activities, concealed carry, or not concealed carry, but competition shooting and courses with the Staccato, and then the Glock on my Go to War belt, my WROL, SHTF, Minuteman activity belt. Now that we've gone over all this with my history with Safariland, I want to go over the actual deal. Now, again, I'm open to your feedback down below. If my audience resoundingly says, Trench, we don't like it, we don't want there to be a sponsorship, then I will listen to my audience. But as of right now, based on your input, based on my mentor's input, based on Nighthawk's input, and based off discussing things with the Safariland team, I feel this is a good deal. And why do I feel that? Because I actually use their products. This would be like Beretta or Glock. This would be like Beretta or Glock saying, hey, do you want a sponsorship? Or something like that, okay? That is kind of how I view this. Or this is like Staccato saying, hey, you already used the thing, so, or Surefire, and saying, if you already use it and your audience is already using it, can we save them 7% and anywhere from 3% to 7% based on the thing they're already gonna buy? That is why I think it's a good idea. So, moving forward, I will be sponsored by Safariland. Now, if my audience again says we don't like it, it smells bad, we don't want the sponsorship, we don't want money off our duty gear, then we won't do it. But as of right now, as the deal sits, I'll post it all and all this stuff. In every trench grenade video moving forward, you'll always see a Safariland link down below that will save you money 7%, 3%, 5%, or 7% based on what holster you choose if you let them know that I sent you and use the link in every description of every video that I have. Then you will get money off your duty gear, okay? Whatever duty gear you need, whether it be holsters, whatever, okay? So my commitment to you is if tomorrow Safariland does something stupid, I will drop the sponsorship and let you know what they did and why I'm dropping the sponsorship. I will not pull a GBRS SIG thing where I'm out here, trying to sell you guys a product that I don't stand for. I do stand for these products. I've used them on duty. I've used them for competitive shooting. I've used them for the YouTube channel. I use them for my Minuteman belt kit setup that we've discussed ad nauseum here on the channel. You guys know that I've used Safariland forever. That's why I think it is a good idea for me to get a sponsorship deal with a company that we all like to save you money, to save me money, and you're going to buy their stuff anyway, so why not support somebody that's trying to support you? And it feels good, okay? So at this point, what I want to do is I want to transition over to your guys' comments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it 24 hours. I'm going to do a follow-up video in 24 hours based on your comments down below. I'm going to read them to you guys all out loud right here, and we're going to discuss if you guys think this is a good deal. If you guys think it is a good deal, then we will keep the deal with Safariland. I will continue recommending and selling their holsters with them to you because we actually believe in the product, as I believe many of you guys have already stated in the poll video. But what I want to do is make sure we're transparent, right? I have avoided sponsorships on the channel for this exact reason. I've seen the way it goes. I'm not going to name the name. You guys know the very, very shady company that I got swindled by in the past, and I don't like that. So what I want to do is make sure if we're going to be repping Safariland on the channel that we're all good with it, okay? Obviously, there's going to be like a 5% outlier based on the decision, but if the vast majority of us are like, hey, we like the holsters, we use the holsters, we need a retention system, because if we don't have a retention system, it's not my gun, it's our gun. So we want to make sure we're actually able to retain our gun to us, and it's good quality stuff. You can throw this thing at a freaking wall and it's not going to break. So I'm going to read your comments. I'll turn it over to you guys to get down below. Let me know. I'm going to be waiting for your comment. You, as you're watching this, I want to know what are your thoughts on myself, Trench Grenade, getting sponsored actively by a holster company that I think we all believe in, okay? So at this point, I've talked a lot. You guys haven't talked at all. I will be awaiting your comments. I will be awaiting your likes or dislikes. If you think this is a good idea, hit the like button. If you think this is a bad idea, hit the dislike button. I'm always open to your input, okay? Now that we've gone over my pedigree with the holsters, we've gone over all the guns that I've carried, everything from a Beretta M9, an M17, an M18, a Staccato C2, a Glock 19X, and a Glock 17 Gen 2. I look forward to reading your comments. Thanks for being here, guys. And until next time, this is going to be Trench Grenade, your average Safariland shill. Nope. Safariland sponsored video enjoyer that your mom says that we have at home, signing out. Cheers.